Well, I've never sold my silver. In fact, I bought another 1,100 ounces at 60 bucks a coin, and it was a good move, you know. But I never sell silver. I've sold Bitcoin, and I've sold some gold, but I've never sold silver. I don't keep it here. I keep it in Switzerland because I don't trust my government. I love Canada. I've been one of these guys at this gold mining show, selling my, I'm a startup guy. So I had a little startup gold mining company here in Canada years and years ago. And Canada is a resource-rich country, except you have a Marxist government, and you have no gold, no silver. I come up here to take your gold and silver. I'm a capitalist. It once said, history proves we learn nothing from history. And if you look at history, you can see this coming. So Ray Dalio says it best, a smart boy. He says when gold, generally what happens is gold's here and silver's here, like this. But what Ray says is when gold is here and silver tracks like this, and they move in tandem. The key word is when gold and silver move in tandem. What does that mean?
We are continuing with our coverage from the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, joined now by Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, my great friend from so many years. Always good to be with you, Robert.
Well, let me say this much. As an old guy, when you come up through the ranks, there's always somebody in your corner. And you've always been in my corner.
Always.
So I thank you for that.
Well, it's been my honor. And I want to also give you this platform. We have a lot to cover, but I think there's some misconceptions about what Robert did with silver and his gold. And I had people writing saying, well, didn't Robert sell all his silver to buy Bitcoin? And I want to give you this opportunity to address that.
Well, I've never sold my silver. In fact, I bought another 1,100 ounces at 60 bucks a coin, and it was a good move, But I never sell silver. I've sold Bitcoin, and I've sold some gold, but I've never sold silver because, in my opinion, silver is the metal of the future, period. Why would I sell that? And it's more scarce than gold, and silver is more scarce than Bitcoin.
This is Robert's clearest declaration of silver conviction. 1. Never sold my silver, repeated 3 times, emphasis, dispels misconception that he rotated silver Bitcoin. He's done opposite, sold Bitcoin gold but holds silver. This reveals hierarchy, silver, gold, Bitcoin in Robert's mind for long-term wealth preservation. 2. Bought another 1,100 ounces at $60 is key timing. This was during the smackdown. Crash from 120 plus to 60 to 70 range. While masses panic sold, Robert was accumulating. At 60 dots and 1,100 dots, $66,000 purchase. Now at $115, recording time equals 126,500 value equals 60 for $5 gain, 92% return. Good moves, understatement. 3. The 100 dots quantity is significant. This isn't token holding, but serious wealth allocation. At current 150 TADAs equals 126 to $500. If goes to 500, an implied target equals 550,000, 4.3x return from $60 cost basis. Robert betting big on silver rebirth. 4. Metal of the future is profound. Not good hedge or inflation protection, but the future. This means A. Industrial necessity. Solar, electronics, medical, defense equals can't function without silver. B. Monetary return. When fiat dies, silver becomes money again. C. Scarcity premium, can't print limited reserves. 5. More scarce than gold challenges mainstream narrative. Most think gold rarer, harder to mine, less above ground stock. But Robert sees A. Gold mostly sits in vaults, central banks' jewelry. Recycling preserves stock. B. Silver consumed industrially, lost in electronics, solar panels equals not recycled economically. C. Gold-silver ratio 61, current versus 15-2001 historical, silver undervalued by 3 to 4x. 6. More scarce than Bitcoin is boldest claim. Bitcoin has 21M hard cap, provably scarce. But Robert recognizes A. Bitcoin is code, can be replicated by altcoins hard forks. B. Bitcoin has no industrial use, pure speculation, store of value. C. Silver has physical scarcity, industrial necessity can't substitute. If solar panel factories need silver, they can't use Bitcoin. 7. For $500 by summer thesis. Robert bought at 60, currently 150 plus 92%. If more scarce than gold, Bitcoin, and gold going 8K, 60% up from 5K, silver should do 3 to 5x that gain. Historical leverage equals 115 to 460 and 575 range. Summer 2026, 4 to 6 months from late Feb recording, is plausible timeline for this move if dollar collapse accelerates.
Wow. And would you still be buying silver here? Or over $100 now as we're speaking? 110 or 115 this morning as we're speaking.
Well, as I say, hogs get fat and pigs get slaughtered.
So don't be too greedy. Don't be too greedy.
I've got plenty of silver. I don't keep it here. I keep it in Switzerland because I don't trust my government.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, the risk of confiscation is real for many people. I mean, especially here, we're in this conference in Canada. As you know, Robert, Canada has zero gold in its central banks. And people are coming up to me saying, how do I know that the Canadian government will come and confiscate my physical gold when they're going to need it? Do you think that's a real risk, Robert?
I have to laugh because Canada, I love Canada. I've been one of these guys at this gold mining show, selling my, I'm a startup guy. So I had a little startup gold mining company here in Canada years and years ago. And Canada is a resource-rich country, except you have a Marxist government, and you have no gold, no silver. I come up here to take your gold and silver. I'm a capitalist. And what is wrong? That's why Donald Trump wants to turn Canada into the 51st state.
Robert reveals sophisticated wealth protection strategy and geopolitical reality. 1. Plenty. Robert isn't sharing exact amount, but implies significant holdings beyond the 1,100 odds just mentioned. Plenty suggests multi-million-dollar position, if 10,000 plus odds at $115, 1.5 member plus. 2. Switzerland's storage is critical for confiscation protection. U.S. has precedent. 1933 FDR Executive Order 6102 confiscated citizen gold, illegal to own, forced sale to government at $20.67, then revalued to $35. Government stole 40% from citizens. Canada, UK, other nations have similar emergency powers. By keeping in Switzerland, neutral country, strong property rights, banking secrecy, Robert ensures A. U.S. government can't seize outside jurisdiction. B. Can't freeze. Swiss banks don't comply with U.S. requests easily. C. Can access globally. Swiss storage is liquid, can sell, move anywhere. 3. Don't trust my government is core principle. Robert, former Marine, U.S. patriot, doesn't trust U.S. government with his wealth. This is powerful signal to viewers. If someone who served in military doesn't trust government, why should you? Government has history of confiscation. Gold 1933, bank accounts Cyprus 2013, Venezuela asset freezes, etc. 4. Canada's zero gold reserves is insane given resource wealth. Canada is world's top uranium producer, top 5 in gold, silver, copper, nickel production, massive oil sands. Yet central bank holds zero gold, sold all reserves 1985 to 2016 at $300 to $600. Now gold is $5,000 plus. Terrible decision. This proves A. Governments make stupid money decisions. Sell low, will buy high later. B. When crisis comes and Canada needs gold to back currency, where will they get it? Confiscate from citizens. 5. Robert's humor. I come here to take your gold and silver. I'm a capitalist. Masks serious point. Canadian citizens accumulated gold, silver. Smart. Canadian government has none. Stupid. So government will take from citizens when needed. This is Marxism. Government claims collective good justifies confiscating private property. 6. Trump's 51st state. Joke is geopolitical commentary. Canada resource-rich but politically weak. Marxist government Trudeau era. Economically dependent on U.S. Trump, capitalist, strongman, seize opportunity. Annex Canada, get resources, eliminate Marxist leadership. Robert finds this funny because Canada's socialist policies are destroying wealth creation despite natural advantages. 7. For silver kills dollar thesis. Confiscation risk proves governments know precious metals are real money. They don't confiscate stocks, bonds, Bitcoin, yet only gold, silver. Why? Because when fiat dies, gold, silver are only assets that retain value. Government confiscation attempts will accelerate silver demand. People desperate to get before illegal equals price spike. Switzerland storage equals smart hedge against this.
Let's talk.
He cracks me up, that guy.
Let's talk about, I know you're good friends with the president. Let's talk about the social divide in this country as we're speaking. I mean, obviously the turmoil in Minneapolis is heartbreaking. You've warned about a civil war breaking out in the country. Many would have thought this was impossible, but we're now seeing this unfold, Robert. How do we get back here?
Well, as somebody once said, history proves we learn nothing from history. And if you look at history, you can see this coming. So Ray Dalio says it best, a smart boy. He says when gold, generally what happens is gold's here and silver's here, like this. But what Ray says is when gold is here and silver tracks like this, and they move in tandem. The key word is when gold and silver move in tandem. What does that mean? This is a Zimbabwe toilet paper. When that happens, trash, the US dollar, the Canadian loonie, the euro, the yen are going to collapse. So as Lynette Zhang always talks about, currency has a life cycle. And so when you see gold and silver tracking at the same time, it's the end of toilet paper. So if I was sitting at home, my mom and pop, and I go, what should I do? I said, Mom and Pop are still saving toilet paper.
This is the mechanism for silver kills dollar. 1. Normal market, gold up, silver lags, silver-gold ratio widens equaled, safe haven bid, silver commodity treatment. Robert shows this visually with hands apart. Tandem market, gold up, silver up, same rate, parallel movement, ratio stable tightening equals both seen as money not gold commodity split. This only happens during currency crisis. Ray Dalio's 3 cycles framework. Short-term debt, business cycle 5 to 10 years. Long-term debt, generational 50-80 years. War, new power threatens hegemon. U.S. is at end of long-term debt cycle. Dalio's 2020 book, Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order. When long-term debt cycle peaks, currency resets, devaluation, hyperinflation, or replacement. Gold-silver tandem equals market pricing, this reset. 4. Zimbabwe toilet paper is visual proof. Robert holds actual Zim $100 trillion note. In 2008, Zimbabwe's currency hyperinflated to infinity. 100 trillion Zim dollars, 40 cents US. Gold, silver, and Zim dollars went parabolic, denominator collapsing. This is fate of all fiat currencies historically. Rome denarius, Weimar mark, Hungarian pengo, Argentine peso, multiple times, Venezuelan bolivar. US dollar, euro, yen on same path. 5. Lynette Zhang's currency life cycle has 7 stages. 1. Good delivery, sound backed. 2. Debasement begins, governments cheat. 3. Public awareness, people notice inflation. 4. Loss of faith, flee to alternatives. 5. Hyperinflation, total collapse. 6. New currency, reset replacement. 7. Repeat cycle. US dollar currently stage 4 to 5 transition, faith eroding, inflation accelerating. Gold silver tandem equals stage 5 imminent. 6. Mom and pop saving toilet paper is tragedy. Most people still accumulating dollars, savings accounts, 401ks, bonds, believing dollar will retain value. Robert, they're saving trash. When dollar collapses, lifetime savings gone, purchasing power destroyed. The college degree mentioned, parents sacrificing to send kids to university, but AI, ChatGPT automation, making most degrees obsolete. So they're spending toilet paper on useless credentials equals double loss. 4. 500 silver, 8 cal gold thesis. If US dollar collapses, Zimbabwe style, not saying 100% but 50 to 90% loss is plausible, then silver in dollar terms goes to moon. Not because silver more valuable in real terms, but because dollar worthless. $500 silver in collapsed dollar terms equals maybe equivalent to $100 silver in current purchasing power. But nominal price $500 equals silver kills dollar. Literally, takes $500 worthless dollars to buy 1/0's real money.
They're still sending kids to school to get a college degree, and AI is going to wipe them out anyway. So when you look at what's going on today, what's going to wipe people out is ignorance. So they should be watching this, studying history, because when gold and silver track in tandem, the last time that happened, a man named Adolf Hitler came to power. And you could see it happening again. So are we going to a civil war? Yes, we're already at a civil war. You know, the lefties out there, I have friends who are hardcore lefties.
Yeah.
They don't make any sense.
You can't have a conversation
No.
anymore.
And you live in New York City, the People's Republic of New York City. You have a Marxist as mayor, and look at what California Governor Newsom.
Robert connects economic collapse to social breakdown. 1. Ignorance will wipe people out equals the real risk isn't market crash, you can recover, but ignorance, you don't even see disaster coming, so you don't prepare. Study history. Those who know Weimar Germany 1920s, Zimbabwe 2000s, Venezuela 2010s, Argentina multiple times, they know fiat collapse follows pattern. Those ignorant of history will lose everything. 2. The Hitler parallel is chilling. Weimar Germany 1920s, A. Currency hyperinflation, gold-silver tandem as mark collapsed. B. Middle class destroyed, savings evaporated. C. Social chaos, communists versus nationalists street battles, desperate people looking for strongman to fix things. E. Hitler rises 1933, promising order, prosperity. Robert, you could see it happening again equals current U.S. has all these elements. A. Currency debasement, dollar losing purchasing power, $7 trillion printed since 2020. B. Middle class squeeze, inflation outpacing wages, retirement accounts struggling. C. Political violence, George Floyd riots 2020, January 6, 2021, Minneapolis burning. D. Extremism both sides, far left Marxists, far right nationalists, no moderate middle. E. Strongman temptation, Trump, but Robert says only one man equals system bigger than individual. 3. Civil war already here is Robert's assessment, not future threat but present reality. Evidence. A. Can't have conversations, families divided over politics, friendships ended, Thanksgiving dinners ruined. B. Lefties don't make any sense, ideology overrides reason, can't debate facts. C. Physical violence, riots, looting, arson in cities. D. Institutional breakdown, trust in media, government, courts, elections all collapsing. This is cold civil war, not yet shooting war, but social fabric torn. 4. The hardcore lefties mention is personal. Robert has left-wing friends, sees their descent into irrationality. This isn't theoretical political science, but his lived experience watching people he knows become radicalized. When smart people become unreasonable, society is breaking. 5. For it's over thesis. If we're already in civil war, even if cold not hot, and last time gold-silver tandem equals Hitler equals woe 2 equals tens of millions dead, then current trajectory is catastrophic. It's over equals the American experiment as we knew it. Peaceful transitions of power, civil discourse, shared reality, rule of law is ending. What comes next? Robert doesn't say explicitly, but historical parallels suggest dictatorship, hyperinflation, war, or all three. 6. Why this makes silver urgent. In Weimar Germany, those who held gold, silver survived. Those who held marks perished, financially. If U.S. heading same direction, silver at $60 and $50 today is gift. When civil war goes hot, when dollar collapses, when strongman takes power, physical silver in Switzerland will be lifeline. $500 by summer? If hot civil war or dollar crisis triggers panic flight to hard assets, $500 is low estimate, could be 1,000 plus in hyperinflation scenario.
You know, California is a beautiful, I love California, so you like my money more. What Newsom just did was the wealth tax. And I read this book here, I went to military school, called the Communist Manifesto. What it says here is the abolition of private property was the objective of Marxism. Well, if you live in California, they just took your property. And the way Newsom did it just this year, the way they did it was, let's say I have a Van Gogh or Picasso hang on my wall, it's worth $25 million. They're going to tax it. They're going to tax everything we own, which proves you own nothing. So that's saying someday you'll own nothing, you'll be happy?
Yeah.
That's Marxism. And so that's why the billionaires are moving out of California, the People's Republic, as fast as they can, because they want to hang on to their money.
Yeah, the question is, where do we move? Where do we move, Robert?
gold, silver,
Yeah.
Bitcoin, and get out of California and New York.
Robert exposes Marxist confiscation in real time. 1. California wealth tax, 2024 to 2025 proposed. Tax on assets, not just income. Traditionally, income taxed when earned, capital gains taxed when sold. Wealth tax, tax you for owning things even if not sold. Your Van Gogh hanging on wall, your stock portfolio, your real estate equity. This is confiscation, forces you to sell assets to pay taxes on assets, death spiral. 2. Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx 1848, goal number 1, abolition of private property equals everything collectively owned by the people, really, the government party. Robert went to military school, disciplined education, studied threats, read Communist Manifesto to understand enemy ideology. He recognizes it now in California. Wealth tax equals property abolition by stealth. You technically own it, but must pay government annually for privilege equals really they own it. 3. The Van Gogh Picasso example illustrates insanity. You bought painting for $1 years ago, now worth $25 art appreciation. California wealth tax proposed 1.5% on assets $50 net worth, 25 membered 1.5% through $75K annual tax just for owning painting. But painting doesn't produce income. So you must A. Sell other assets to pay tax, liquidating wealth, B. Sell painting, force sale, or C. Move painting out of state, California saying, leave or we'll take it. This forces billionaires, millionaires to flee. 4. You'll own nothing and be happy is World Economic Forum Schwab slogan from Great Reset 2030 predictions. Robert connects. WEF Marxism, same as California Marxism, globalist agenda to abolish private property, make everyone dependent on government, corporations for everything. Rent not own home, subscribe not buy products, universal basic income instead of earned wealth. Billionaires see this and flee to Texas, Florida, Nevada, no state income tax, no wealth tax, property rights protected. 5. Billionaires moving out as fast as they can is empirical. California losing high net worth residents. Elon Musk moved Tesla to Texas. Joe Rogan moved to Texas. Ben Shapiro moved to Tennessee. Joe Lonsdale moved to Texas. Peter Thiel moved to Miami. Trend accelerating 2020-2025. Result: California loses tax revenue. Billionaires paid huge income taxes, now zero. Loses innovation. Companies follow founders. Gains debt. Spending continues, but revenue drops. Death spiral for state finances. 6. Robert's advice: gold, silver, Bitcoin, get out. A. Physical assets that government can't easily track, tax confiscate. Gold, silver, portable, Bitcoin, digital, borderless. B. Geographic arbitrage. Move to low-tax jurisdiction. Texas, Florida, Nevada, Tennessee, or international. Switzerland, Singapore, UAE, Monaco. For silver kills dollar, it's over thesis. Wealth tax equals government desperate for revenue. Can't tax income enough because high earners leaving. Can't cut spending because politically impossible. So tax wealth equals eating the seed corn. This desperation proves fiat system dying. When government taxes unrealized gains, taxes assets just for existing, confiscates property through taxation, it's endgame. Robert's solution: convert wealth to untaxable portable forms. Silver in Switzerland equals government can't find it, can't tax it, can't take it. Wait for California NY to collapse, then return when sanity restored. $500 by summer plausible because, as more people realize their wealth at risk from Marxist policies, they'll flee dollars, stocks, real estate into gold, silver. Can move to Switzerland, can't track easily, equals demand surge.
We'll jump right back to the interview, but this is too important to skip. The real risk today isn't just a market crash or recession, it's the US dollar being reset, revalued, and losing all purchasing power. Prices keep rising, incomes can't keep up, and central banks around the world are buying record levels of gold because they see what's coming. You can't fix the system, but you can step out of the line of fire and position yourself the same way they do, like a central bank, not a common investor. That's why we built the Private Wealth Playbook. It's free and it shows you exactly how to protect your wealth, privacy, and retirement through whatever comes next. So click below or go to DannyReport.com and secure what's rightfully yours. You know, I think the last time I spoke, I said I was concerned that New York was headed, and this is before Mamdani came on the scene, I said I was concerned New York was headed towards the same fate of San Francisco.
And the big reason is I want rich dad, poor dad, because my poor dad, unfortunately, good man,
Yeah.
Marxist, The other thing that Marx said, just read this book, you guys. People, workers of the world unite. My poor dad was head of the teachers union. The biggest labor union in America today are teachers. They're Marxists. And they teach our kids. What does school teach you about money? Nothing.
Robert, if someone comes up to you and says, Robert, should I go get my MBA? What's your answer?
I said, I'll pray for you tonight.
I had a couple come up to me yesterday and say they own a lot of real estate in Vancouver. You're a real estate guru. Look, it's the market's so depressed right now here, right? Once it was booming. Should they be selling some real estate and buying gold and silver?
I'm not a financial planner, and I would never will be. I buy real estate because of one reason.
Yeah.
In 71, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and the US dollar became debt or toilet paper. So I use real estate because I can borrow money. So in 2008,
Right.
when in 2008 it crashed, I borrowed $30 million. And people say, well, how did you borrow $30 million? I have a strong financial statement. And most people don't have a report card. That's why I would say, my bankers never asked me for my report card yet. My bankers need my financial statement. So I was already rich in 2008 because I had real estate. And when it crashed, I went back to the same bank and I said, give me more money. Debt is what makes you rich if
Right.
you know how to use it.
Buy your home with debt.
Yes. And that's the mistake I made, Daniela.
You use gold. I know. But we
no,
live
well,
and we
it's
learn.
It's worse than that. It's when I use gold, I had a tax consequence. I learned the hard way. You can always learn more, you know. So I've never sold silver. I was buying silver as I was selling gold.
Let me ask you this. Does renting ever make sense for you?
It depends. I've owned boats and planes and,
Like renting?
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
If it flies, floats, or rent it.
Okay, so like if you're a young couple, and if they can, you always suggest buy, depends.
It depends, and that's why when I got out of I was a pilot for the Marine Corps. When I came back, I asked my rich dad, I asked my poor dad, what should I do?
Yeah.
He says, get your PhD. PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. I asked my rich dad, what should I do? He says, why don't you use debt? I went, what? And my rich dad, he's a tough guy. He chewed me out. He says, didn't you see Nixon to the dollar, the gold standard? I said, yes. He says, the dollar is now debt. You better learn to use debt because debt is money. And then there's Dave Ramsey, a friend of mine,
Yep.
who says live debt free. And so for most people, Dave Ramsey's advice is good. But if you're going to use debt, study real estate, study debt, study how you use debt as money, because then you pay less taxes too.
Robert, final thoughts for viewers watching. Obviously, the world is upside down, right? But we've seen this throughout history, and you have a lot of knowledge. I mean, what is your advice for navigating turbulent times?
Well, you got to find out what's real. Dalio says it best, and I agree 100%. As it goes, there's three cycles: short-term debt, long-term debt. America is the biggest debtor nation in the world. But what makes this one different is we're about to go to war with China.
We're about to go to war with China.
Yeah. Because that's what happens is we have a new power threatening America. And that's my biggest concern. I was talking to Colonel Douglas McGregor.
Yes, I have him coming up,
Yeah, that's my question. Are we going to war with China?
And he said,
Well, because I was just in Okinawa, they had a map of China
yeah,
and Taiwan. At the center of the picture was Taiwan. And I said I was a Marine pilot, that I should fly out of there. And the two-star walks in, he goes, gentlemen, everything on this wall is confidential. So I said, why is Taiwan in the middle? He said, it's confidential.
so that's on your radar.
History proves.
Yeah.
The same as America took on England.
Robert reveals the war cycle driving precious metals. 1. Ray Dalio's 3 cycles. A. Short-term debt, 5 to 10-year business cycle, recessions, booms. B. Long-term debt, 50 to 80-year generational cycle, ends in currency reset. C. War, when new power challenges hegemonic conflict. U.S. currently at end of long-term debt cycle, debt GDP 130%, unfunded liabilities 200 plus, no path to solvency, and entering war cycle, China GDP approaching U.S., military modernizing, challenging dollar hegemony. 2. Biggest debtor nation equals U.S. federal debt $35, total debt 100 plus, unfunded liabilities, Social Security, Medicare, pensions $200 plus equals unpayable. Only solutions: A. Default won't happen, destroys reserve currency status. B. Inflate away, print money, hyperinflation. C. Grow out of it, impossible, need 10 plus GDP growth for decades. Or D. War, historical solution when debt unpayable. 3. China as new power threatening America equals historical pattern. Every 100 years, new power rises. 1700s France versus Britain, 1800s Germany versus Britain, 1900s Japan, Germany versus US, Britain, 2000s China versus US. Thucydides' trap, Greek historian. When rising power challenges ruling power, war is almost inevitable. 12 of 16 cases historically. China. A. GDP $18 US $27, but gap closing. B. Manufacturing 28% world total, US 16%. Military modernizing, hypersonic missiles, Navy growing. D. Belt and Road Initiative, 60 plus countries, challenging US influence. 4. Colonel Douglas McGregor, retired Army colonel, military analyst, frequent Trump advisor, confirms. When Robert asks, are we going to war with China? McGregor doesn't deny, discusses Taiwan. This is insider confirmation. Military planners expect conflict. Okinawa briefing reveals classified plans. Okinawa is U.S. military hub in Pacific, closest U.S. territory to Taiwan, major Air Force Marine bases. Robert sees map with Taiwan center, target of invasion defense. 2-star general, major general rank, immediately classifies, everything on this wall is confidential. Robert's question, why Taiwan in middle, answered confidential, equals they're planning Taiwan defense but can't admit publicly. This is active war prep. 6. Taiwan is flashpoint because A. China claims Taiwan seizes renegade province, reunification inevitable. B. U.S. committed to defend. Taiwan Relations Act 1979. Strategic interest in semiconductors. TSMC makes 60% world chips. C. Xi Jinping vowed reunification before 2027. 100th anniversary People's Liberation Army. If China invades Taiwan, U.S. must defend or lose credibility globally, equals we will risk. Trump's actions confirm A. Squashed Carney, Canadian finance minister, to do trade deal with China equals delay conflict. B. Cutting Venezuela oil. Deny China cheap oil. Venezuela sells to China, taking away weakens China's energy security. C. Has balls, has guts, but only one man. Trump wants to avoid war, knows it's catastrophic, but system is pushing toward conflict. Military-industrial complex, debt spiral needs reset. China won't back down. One man can delay but not stop historical forces. 8. For silver kills dollar, $500 summer, 8K gold thesis. War equals ultimate dollar killer. If U.S.-China war, A. Trade disrupted. China makes everything. U.S. imports 500 B plus year. Inflation explodes. Dollar weaponized. Sanctions, swift cutoff. But China has alternatives equals dollar loses reserve status. C. Debt explodes. War costs trillions. Funded by printing equals hyperinflation. D. Safe haven bid. Gold, silver moon as investors flee equities, bonds into hard assets. Historical precedent. War 2 equals gold $35 to $35 fixed, but after war removed equals spiked. Vietnam War equal gold 35 to 200 plus 1971 to 1974. Gulf War gold $350 into $80 1999 to 2008. China War would be bigger equals gold 5K to 10K plus, silver $115 to $5,000 plus plausible. Summer 2026 timeline. If war starts spring, summer, historically wars start spring. The USSR, Vietnam escalated spring, Iraq, both times spring, summer.